Why is it that nobody wants to work anymore? Let's go over a few things. Over here on the left hand side, I don't know how well you can or can't see my cursor, but we have rent, which is 2,000, Wi-Fi, which is 100, insurance, which is could be for, maybe you have more than one car or whatever. Let's say you're financing a car 500 and you're younger, which it could be even more than that now, I'm unsure. Water around 100. I'm just doing like averages because I know some are way higher than this, some are way lower than this. Just doing averages. Electricity 500, food 1,000, car 1,000 if you're financing a brand new car. Gas 2,000, cell phone 100, or gas 200, cell phone 100. Invest, you should invest for some type of anything and for your future, which would be like a Roth IRA, 401k, whatever, stocks, bonds, whatever you feel most comfortable. Bitcoin, I don't care, whatever you like. 500 a month. Miscellaneous shit like you're gonna need aluminum foil. Something breaks in the house, whatever. Put aside $500 a month because your hot water heat will break it, or hot water heater will break eventually, or whatever. 500 recreational. That means you should have fun every once and again. 500 if you want to go out to eat or watch a movie once a week or whatever, that's going to probably cost you $500 if you're doing it once a week. Healthcare, I'd average around $800, small family or whatever you got going on. Savings, you want to save, absolutely. This kind of goes in with whatever else I said that you should put aside. Probably 1,000 altogether a month, probably a good idea. Get a flat tire, your transmission goes out on your car, whatever, blah blah blah, who knows, savings. Total was $8,300. For a person like you and me, just regular, normal Joe Schmo, who's paying you $8,300 a month, what does that come out to? I pulled this up because that's what you're going to need if you have the second thing to this. This is what you're going to need annually right here, and that's going to be after taxes. So essentially, once you break the crest of about 80 to 100k, they're taking half, motherfucker. So you need to double this, which is about $240,000. All right, now that we got that out of the way, if you have pets, probably about $200 a month at minimum. Dog food, whatever, cats, goldfish, whatever. Maybe goldfish is a little cheaper. Research before you get pets because vet bills, all this other stuff, it gets expensive. I can't even speak. Fleas and ticks medication, heart dewormer, whatever, they cost money. So $200 a month. Kids, $500 a month at minimum. They grow out of their clothes, shoes, school supplies, whatever, blah blah blah. That's going to be $500 a month per child, especially if they are infants. Probably double that at minimum because diapers, formula, whatever else, doctor visits, vaccines, whatever, blah blah blah. It gets expensive really fast. And if you're in schooling, I'm unsure of what this would be, but I'm just going to put this in here for the rest of your life. Probably add $1,000 to that monthly because the interest rates, it's all a scam anyway. So your new total was $10,000, which brought me to the $120,000 a year. Now, if you do the math on this, they're going to take 50%. So, meaning if you're making this, you're probably going to get 60 or 70k. Now, after you spend your money on the sales tax, your property tax, your registration fees, your licensing fees, they're taking over half, okay? So shut the hell up. You're going to need $240,000 a month. And this is just living decently, I would say. Decently. Yeah. Why do you think nobody... And you go and you apply for a job, whatever. A lot of the jobs now even don't even list how much you get paid. It'll say something along the lines of competitive. Oh yeah, whatever that means. Which generally, when you go in there, they're going to hit you with something like that. And then, at least take a quarter of that away. Divided by 0.25 equal... Oh, shit, I meant to do... So if they hit you with this, multiply that by a quarter, which is 0.25. They're taking 11. So 4,500 11,250 equals, Jesus criminy, 45,000 minus 11,250 equals, that's what you're going to bring home. And then divide that by roughly 12, and that's what you're bringing home a week or a month, and then divide that by 4-ish, and then you get your $700. What is that going to pay out of this monthly? Or even if you do the 2,800 or whatever it was, what is the 2,800 going to pay out of this? You're going to fall behind. Now, there are ways that you can get by, which would be Ubering to and from, which is what I see a lot with the younger generations. When I was Ubering, and this was about a year and a half ago, work at Amazon, making about that 45,000 or whatever. They would live in one cheap ass motel that was not nice, and they would Uber to and from, and then pretty much just have a cell phone bill. These are with no kids, by the way, and pretty much have to buy food. Their electricity, water, and all that Joe Schmo Wi-Fi is covered by the hotel. Now, they would spend they would get like the $700 a week, and they would spend like $300 to $500 for the motel week, plus an extra 100, 150 or so, depending on the Uber, so that left them not a lot of money, alright? And they were just they were telling me they were barely scraping by. So, and these are ways that you could do it. I've seen, I've met a couple people that have, at least in my local Amazon, where I usually drop people off at and stuff, I would see a lot of them, you know, just talking to them or whatever, and they would say, yeah, usually I just, there's a Walmart down there, I get my car, go over there, sleep, there's a 24-hour fitness over by there as well. I'll go in there, take a shower, you know, do some scoogly boogly workouts and whatever, get back in my car, go to sleep, wake up, come back over here. You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta do what you gotta do. And this is how people are living, working these jobs. And imagine being down here where you have kids and pets and schooling and there's many more that could possibly be going on. But I was just probably most common things, you know. So, and these, like I said, these are just, you know, averages. And, like, you know, you can skate by, you know, run without insurance on your vehicle, you know, which probably a lot of people do, more than you think, honestly. I did that from 18 to 27 because it was so fucking ridiculous. Even back then in, like, 2015 or 2013 to 2018, it was $400 or $500 a month to insure a $600 vehicle that I bought. Yeah. They were fucking, yeah. So I just learned how to drive pretty well, very defensively, and I did get caught like 2 or 3 times. But the ticket was like $300 or $400, and most of the time, they just said, hey, get insurance, show the judge that you currently have insurance, and they'll generally dismiss it. That's what I did. Got insurance for a month, showed them, and it fucking hurt because it was like $400 or $500, but shit, got that, and then right after the court case, called them up, canceled. They would give some of it back, not all of it, just some of it back, and we were good for a little while. Just go the speed limit. Be hyper vigilant of your surroundings. Don't do this, by the way, because if you do hurt somebody and or yourself, you're pretty fucked. But I had to do things such as most other people, you know, I had to do things which were not considered legal just to get by most of my life, and still have to now. And all this shit, migrants in Minnesota get for free. FREE free 99. Yep. All of it. They're driving brand new cars, whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to get all political or whatever, but this is the stuff that younger people, such as myself, I mean, maybe I'm unk now or whatever, but I'm 31, I think. 30. Hey, knock it off. 31 years old, and I'm looking at this shit being like, dude, I worked, I mean, not a long time, but last 12, 13 years of my life, maybe 14, I don't know. Been working ever since 2013. So, do the math, I guess, whatever, for y'all mathematicians out here. I can't do shit without a calculator, but been doing it pretty hard, working those 70, 80, 100 and something hour weeks, you know, just trying to fucking scoot by. And every single time I get a pay raise, everything doubles in price, which cancels out the pay raise anyway, so I'm still making federal fucking minimum wage at the age of 31. And if you're making less than $30 an hour, you're making less than $7.25, baby. Serious. Look at all the math. What is that? 83. So let's say 10,000. Ooh, almost got me again. Divided by 4 equals 2,500. Divided by 40. That's how many hours you would need to work in a week. That's what you should be making to live. Promise you. I absolutely promise you. That's what your company should be paying you right now. That. Now, they're going to take probably half of that, which would make you $30 an hour. Like I said before, federal minimum wage, $30 an hour. I hope you're starting to get it. This is, seriously, this is all shit I researched and looked up. This is what you should be making, $62.50 an hour, to be able to sustain your life comfortably. Like, not checking your fucking phone every time you swipe your card. You know? None of that. This is all legit shit. And they've been... Why do you think the federal minimum wage hasn't changed since 2009? Okay. Now, maybe your local state and whatever has changed it a little bit. Maybe they... Like, I'm in California, obviously. I have no idea what that is, but I think here it's like 12 or 15, one of the two. Which is way less. That's like making fucking $4 an hour in 2009. Seriously, that's what that is. That's what that is. So, this is why nobody wants to work. Especially like in the 70s, 80s or whatever, 90s even. People were making money. They were accruing wealth. Now, unless you're already in that bracket or whatever, or were in that bracket back in like, I don't know, 2015 or so, and you actually had assets and were in the stock market and were in this and crypto and whatever else, those were the only those are the type of people that are saying the economy's good right now. All the other hundreds of millions of us are like, what the fuck is going on every single day? And feeling like we're losing bad. This is why we have to, we gotta get away, these dogs are never gonna stop. We gotta get away from this hourly wage bullshit, and I think we need to go to, like, percentages of what you make the company. Seriously. It's gotta happen. Because this is not sustainable in any type of way. Any type of way. Because this, and it's only going to get worse. Let's say they keep the same federal minimum wage until 2030, another 4 years. Everything's going to more than double again. Then what are you going to be able to afford on your $15 or $16 salary when things double again? Why do you think a lot of these banks and nobody's really being able to sell cars? Nobody's really being able to sell houses because you're stuck with all this, and you're making probably around this. Why would a person look at averages such as this and somebody making this and be like, oh, this is a reasonable risk right here, when they won't be able to afford the $1,000 car payment or $750 or whatever it is. After I put the average car payment's like $650 to $700 right now, but if you add in there all the maintenance and everything else that you're gonna have to do to it and whatever else, I figured $1,000. Just thinking ahead a little bit. But a lot of people do have $1,000 car payments. I've known people to have $1,900 car payments. I mean, that's on the topper end of things or whatever, but I've seen it. Same with the rent. I've seen people have $3,000 mortgages, $4,000 mortgages, $5,000 mortgages. $2,000, I think, is about the average. What are we doing here? What are we doing? I luckily, set things up. I got pretty lucky. The house here is built in 1913. It had nothing in it. I look at the fucking socket on the wall back there. It's hanging out. Still have a lot to do. Don't have any money to do it. But it's something to keep the water off my head. Keep me dry and keep me half-ass warm anyway. I got 10% interest rate, 20-year note. I put a lot of money down, and I think my note is like $565 a month. That sounds great, and it kind of is, but I spend a lot of money, a lot of time fixing. It didn't even have a refrigerator, a stove, washer, dryer. It had a hot water heater. That bitch went out in like a year or two, I think. Furnace, fucking constantly maintaining that old bastard. The sink, fucking a lot of the plumbing had to redo. Everything leaked and whatever else, updating Romex in it constantly because the shit's older and fucked. Doesn't even have a ground wire. I've just slowly here and there. I got a whole roll of Romex over there. It's kind of expensive. It's like $300, but just kind of updating here and there and here and there and here and there, and that's where we're at. Just pulling wire, putting updated shit in it slowly over time. Throw the main, start doing a little bit of work. Okay, towards the end of the day, people start coming back home, get shit rigged up. Throw that breaker or whatever, or pull the breaker off or whatever, and then hey, until that's fixed, this is out of service type deal. Whatever. Put out of order signs on the fucking sinks when I'm fixing them or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, dude, it's still a lot of money. It's still a lot of time. It's still a lot of knowledge to be able to do these things and whatever else. But there's no give and take. If I paid $2,000 a month or whatever, yeah, I wouldn't have to fix things right now. But in 5 years, I'd be in the same boat, but fixing things too. I mean, my brother bought a new house. It was like 8 years ago or so, and he's paying a lot of money for it. And he's having the contract because he doesn't have the time. Yep. This is why everybody... Dude, we're not making anything. Why does somebody do something? Well, if you're hungry, you do what? You eat. Why? To solve the pain or whatever, the suffering of being hungry. Okay? Why does somebody go to work? To make money. What are we not doing? Making money. Because where's it all going? To the federal government and big corporations. Those two branches. Boom. They're making money, boy. What are we doing? Not making a fucking cent. Paying them. Making them rich. That's all we're doing. Seriously. Why do you think they pay you the smaller amount that they do? So you have to come back next week. And the week after. They got you in a fucking trap on the hamster wheel. That's all you're going to do for the rest of your life, and it's only going to get worse. Week after week after week after week, you're getting robbed. You're pretty much Helen Keller. You're just working. You don't have enough, you're just concentrated on your task at work, but all these things are going on in the background where they're just taking your money out of your wallet and your back pocket through inflation and other means. Fraud, whatever, Just giving it to you real. That's, in my subjective experience, that's what I've seen visually. Through all these bills, legislation, through all this other shit. I remember, and this was some time ago, I remember when I used to make $10 an hour times 40 equals 400. And then divided by 1.3 equals, that's about right, yeah. I don't know what this is, but I would always be able to divide it by 1.3, and it would get close. It'd be like $309. Yeah. And then now, if I did if I made the 10,000 divided by 1.3 equals, you're not going to get anywhere near that. No. You might as well divide that bitch by 2. You'll be a lot closer. So, in whatever percentile that is, if you bump that up 0.7, is that 70%? Could be. Not a mathematician, but I think 70% more taxes than that of when it was in 2013. And plus, the car registration got way more expensive. The plates, the tags, the licenses, everything. Property tax. My property taxes went up 360% in 3 years. I'm waiting for the next one. This way I can line them all up. I'll like kind of cover up my parcel number to kind of have an address and stuff. But I'll show you guys how they've been giving me the since I've been here. Oh yeah. That's why I was like, man, this ain't bad. Like I only got to pay $565 a month. Oh no. No, sir. Now I'm paying them a lot rent annually, and it's over $1,200 fucking dollars now, and it's probably gonna double again, which will mean it'll be $2,400 this year. Like it has every single year consecutively since I've moved in. Yeah. And the house was just appraised because they do that every 5 or 6 years. And it was appraised at the same amount that I bought it for. Oh, imagine that. Yeah. So how's it gone up 360%? Hey, I don't make the rules. I went and asked the treasurer's office and county clerk's office and wherever else, and every single time I got escorted out. Oh yeah, because I was asking the right questions, and somebody's got to do it, right? Instead of, there's some things that you're gonna have to do in your life that aren't gonna be dopamine filled, okay? Such as watching videos on the internet or whatever. There's gonna be some hard obstacles you're gonna have to cross. And one of the, like me, I didn't want to go in there and confront these people. I really didn't. But did I know I must? Absolutely. Because if I don't do it, who else do I know that will? Nobody. Somebody's got to do it. And this is like where I'm trying to get at is you're your own hero in this story. Nobody is going to come and save you. Nobody. And as long as we lay down and accept these things that have been going on for decades and will continue to happen in even worse ways than they are now for the following next couple of decades, hell, maybe even millennia, your kids as kids, or whoever is going to combat this, will be so weak and malnourished they won't physically be able to. Nor will they have the tools to be able to successfully do this because of legislation, restrictions, whatever the hell else they implement on us. Nobody will be able to do it. Just thinking out loud. I'm just putting myself out there on the internet. I know nobody will probably even see this, but in the hopes that somebody does, maybe they could talk to their friend about it. I don't know. Maybe get a couple people together and be like, fuck, this guy might be onto something here. He's not a complete dumbass. And hell, it's just in my opinion that if nobody pays taxes, they don't have the money to be able to build prisons, because our prisons are almost at max capacity in most places anyway, to be able to put the people in prisons, nor the funding to fucking put these police officers or ICE or National Guard or whoever on overtime to be able to round us all up. And to be honest, if they sent me, I'm a pretty resilient bastard, but if they sent me like in 1,000 or 10,000 clones of myself into a city with 2.8 million pissed off motherfuckers with pitchforks, firearms, whatever the fuck else you could think of, piss bottles, flashbangs, mace, trash can lids, pool noodles, whatever the fuck you could think of, I'm gonna look at that person and give them a resounding, go fuck yourself. Right? I mean, right? Oh, well, we'll throw you in prison for treason or whatever, not directive orders or whatever the hell it is. Because I have a feeling in the next couple of months to a year, with all the shit especially that's coming out, and how pissed off I've seen some Americans already, I'm not fucking stupid enough to go do that dumb shit. That's like throwing a fucking steak, going to the Amazon, where there's like a notorious pond, or even Florida, where there's a notorious pond of crocodile and alligator infested fucking waters. Going and throwing a steak into it, watching them all fucking flap around and tear the fuck out of it, and even pull off some of their other friends' arms and whatever else. I've seen that too. And then saying, hey bud, go jump in there. Otherwise, you're gonna get some jail time. Yeah, go ahead and I'll take my 3 hots and a cot, baby. Fuck it. I'll take the death penalty too. I'll sit on death row. At least I'll survive 10 years or whatever on death row, opposed to 10, 5, 4, 5 seconds in that fucking pond? Yeah, right. Risk analysis, you know? The thing that they use is fear. And ignorance at the same time. It's why they propagate everything they do on mainstream media. To get you to do what they want. And what they want is you making these mega corporations billions of dollars annually, so they can get kickbacks from it, and for you to be taxed over half of your income, This way they could afford their nice little fucking tea parties in Congress. And spending $1.8 million on fucking office furniture. And so the Pentagon can fail their audits for 6 years in a row. And be able to give those whoever billions of dollars. And then get jets, I guess. I don't fucking know. I don't know. Just to be able to do whatever the fuck they want. While the few don't have to do anything, and the majority have to risk their life in deplorable conditions. That's the game we're playing. And if you're tired of playing the stupid ass game, I guess you're right there with me, brother, sister, whoever. Doesn't matter. Don't care what race you are. Don't care how tall you are. Don't care your religious background. I don't care. I don't care if your sexual orientation. Don't give a rat's ass about none of that. How about that? Huh? I don't care what color your eyes are. As long as you think I work 2 jobs and I'm tired of getting fucking nowhere, you're more than welcome here. And you're more than welcome to start bitching about it. Because I think the first step of this is you start posting everywhere. Start bitching everywhere. They're going to see some type of trend. Hey, we got a couple million, maybe 100 million, pretty pissed off. Numbers ain't looking good, boss. And then the scariest thing is when everybody comes together. That's when they need to start wearing Depends because they're going to start shitting themselves. It's not a black versus white issue. It's not a millennial versus Gen X or boomer issue. It's not Christians against, I don't even know if you could say the JEW thing or whatever, or Arabians, or I don't even know all the other religions. It's not that. It's not males versus females. It's not left versus right. It's us peasant tax slaves against the tyrants that are suppressing us into strife. That's what the game is. That's the actual game. That's what we're doing here. And some people know that's the real issue, but they just subconsciously know it, Sometimes I'm like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I don't know why. But I think I know subconsciously why. But I just haven't put it together yet. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's really going on here. I just tried to kind of put it together in a simpler way of thinking. If that makes sense. And I'm not saying that anybody's dumb. I'm an idiot. But I've been able to put it piece by piece all together throughout the last decade or so. And maybe me opening my eyes can open your eyes too. And why you feel the way you do. It's not a sense of emptiness. Like, do you ever wake up and feel, oh, fuck, I gotta do this again? You should be waking up, hell yeah, I get to do this again. You know what I mean? Just saying, those are 2 different reactions. But let me know what y'all think. I'll see y'all later.